Welcome to the Magical Traveling Moms Podcast, where your hosts, Tina and Colleen, talk about all things travel. From theme parks to cruises to all-inclusive resorts and more, they cover news, tricks, and insider tips to inspire your travel dreams. They love to travel and want you to love it too. Find out their best-kept secrets and learn how to make your next vacation extra magical, right here on the Magical Traveling Moms Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Magical Traveling Moms Podcast. My name is Tina and I am joined by my fabulous co-host, Miss Colleen. And today we are going to be chatting about her amazing trip to St. Maarten. But before we get to that, let us take a moment to thank the sponsors of our show, Mystical Dream Travel. Mystical Dream Travel is an earmarked travel agency with Disney destinations, and they specialize not only in Disney destinations, but in the Caribbean, cruise lines, Europe, and many more fabulous vacation destinations. Looking to plan your vacation, be sure to reach out to the wonderful agents over at Mystical Dream Travel. You can find them at mysticaldreamtravel.com, or you can check them out on social media for all the latest travel trends. Hey, Colleen, how are you today on this beautiful Sunday? So we're recording today on a Sunday.
We are. I know. It's a little different for us. I am doing awesome. How about you?
Good. How's your summer been so far? We're like about halfway through, which is hard to believe.
Yeah, it is flying for me. And I just looked at my July is so packed. It's literally one thing after another. And then we go on our Disney Wish cruise in August. And then literally we get back from our cruise on the 12th. My kid's first day of school is the 15th.
Oh, wow. They go back.
I know. And I thought it was going to be next week. I don't know. In my mind, I thought it was the 22nd that they were going to start school. And then I looked at the calendar the other day and I was like, oh, shoot. Wow, that's really quick.
Yeah, that's early. Oh my gosh, but you guys get out early. So
we do get out really early. We do get out usually by Memorial Day. So, but yeah, so I just feel like, wow, and this month is going to fly because we just have so many things going on.
I know you are busy. One busy gal. So you recently went to St. Maarten. That's what we're talking about today. And you were there for both business and fun.
I was, yeah.
So let's talk about that. So you stayed at two different locations.
Yes, I did. Two different resorts. So first, for those who aren't aware, I want to give a little background about St. Maarten. So St. Maarten is actually split into two different countries. So one half of the island is like, I don't know, owned by or territory of, I guess, like the Netherlands. So it's Dutch. And then the other half of the island is a territory of France. So it's French. Yeah, so it's a really unique destination to go to. It's not a big island. It's only 37 miles, I think, 37.
Yeah, it's pretty small, yes.
It's like not a big island. So it's very interesting that it's split between these two countries. And even though, and their thing there, the people who live there is like one island, right? So they like to sort of have that mindset and like explain it to people that, okay, we're two different countries, but we are one island. And they are, like, you can tell, like, they're very cohesive. You can drive between the two sides with, it's not like there's a border check or anything like that.
Oh, that's nice.
But I will say that there is a different feel on each side of the island. Like, there's definitely differences. Yeah, and we got to talk to locals about what's it like living on the Dutch side versus the French side. It was really interesting. It's just a very interesting history of the destination. So it's my husband and I, we, especially Matt, he loves history, so we always like are researching like the history of places we're at and like geeking out on it and whatnot. But it is a beautiful island. So it's 37 miles and there are 37 beaches.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
I know. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of fun.
That is kind of fun.
Go to all 37 beaches.
I was going to say, did you tour? How many beaches did you go to?
Let's see. We did to like four or five beaches. Yeah,
Okay.
because we did drive around the island. But so we started out on the Dutch side.
Okay.
And the Dutch side is the one that actually has the airport, like a big airport. Now the French side does have an airport, but it only is flights from France, basically. Is what
I was gonna
Like,
say
my
which side is better for people to come into. So
yeah,
the
I'm like, I think it's just like a little airport for like
Yeah.
flights from France to fly over or something. I don't know. But the Dutch side has the actual airport, like
Okay.
you fly into.
Gotcha.
And it is a well-known airport because of the way that it's positioned. It's like not a very long runway, and when you're coming in to land, you're like, it looks like you're going to land on the ocean, like that's so you get really, really close to the ocean, and then there's a beach called Maho Beach.
Yes.
That's right at the end of the airport, and it's very famous for seeing the planes flying super duper low. So people go to Maho Beach, like cruise ships dock in St. Martin. That's a really popular tourist place for people to go and hang out on the beach and take a picture of like the planes flying like right above your head.
And you can actually watch that. So if you like to watch the port cam, so you can actually watch it on the Port St. Martin, I believe is what it's called.
Really?
.com. Yes, it's very cool. So like I sometimes when I'm bored, we'll put on the port cams and flip around, and you can see, you can see the planes like coming in. You can see the ships.
It's really wild.
And the beautiful ocean.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the water is gorgeous.
It looks gorgeous.
It's a beautiful Caribbean turquoise like color. It's all of the beaches we went to, all of the water I saw, like it's just beautiful, beautiful beaches. But we the first resort that we stayed at was the Sonesta Ocean Point, and it is right on Maho Beach. So it's like the beach is sort of like like this crescent at the end of the runway, and then the Sonesta Resort is like along the side. So you're not like right on the beach, but like you're on the side, which it's actually kind of nice because you get a front row seat basically for all these planes. So like all day long, like you're eating at a restaurant, you're hanging out in the pool, you're at the beach, you get to see these planes coming in. So Matt loved it. Like I would say
my husband would be like in awe because before 9/11, we used to be able to go out to the Pittsburgh International Airport and sit at the end of the runway.
Yes, Matt used to do this when he was a kid, sit at the end of the runway.
So when we were dating, my husband and I were dating, we would actually go out in his truck and have like picnic lunches.
Oh my gosh.
And watch the planes. Yeah.
Matt loves he like knows the different kinds of planes, and sometimes it's a helicopter. There's a lot of little planes because there's actually two islands off of St. Martin that are not very far away. There's St. Bart's and there's Anguilla. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. I think it's Anguilla. And you can take little commuter planes like all day long. They have multiple plane rides, like little planes, like literally there's like 6 seats on it.
Wow. So you can island hop like.
So you can go over to St. Bart's or go over to Anguilla, and he uses this app called FlightAware, and you can actually see like where the plane was coming from, right? So like he was so funny. We're like at dinner and he's like, oh, that plane is coming from Barcelona and this plane is coming from here. I'm like, okay. He really enjoyed it. But but yeah, so here's what I discovered.
Okay.
So the Dutch side of the island is best for people who are looking for a lot of activity, high energy, nightlife. They really like their dance clubs and music and that kind of thing. And there's a lot of that on the Dutch side. And the capital of the Dutch side is Philipsburg. And that is where the cruise ship dock is, in Philipsburg. And we went down to Philipsburg. One day we rented a car. So that I will say, this is the kind of island where it's super easy to drive around. And it's not a very big island. You cannot get lost. Like, you'll figure it out. Like, just go around.
Nice.
And it was like $100 to rent a car for the day.
That's not bad.
And you could just drive around and sightsee. It's very safe. Everybody's super friendly. They give you a roadmap, and tell you some places that are, popular places to stop. So it's a really great island for exploring if you're interested in getting out and doing things on your own.
Nice.
But Phillipsburg is like the biggest kind of town. Like, that's where a lot of the shops are. There's a lot of restaurants. There's actually even a beach like in the downtown, like little historic downtown. So we did go down there and walked around. It was very quiet. And I was surprised. We were there on a Saturday, but there was no cruise ships in dock.
Okay.
So I don't know if that affects it, because when we were there on our cruise in April, it was very busy. So, but they also said June. So we were there. June is the low season, right? So,
okay.
So the busy season is from like December through like March or April, and then the summer is actually not really very busy. And then, of course, after that, you have hurricane season, and it's not super busy. And then December through, it makes sense. When it's cold up north, people want to go to.
Yeah, they want to go to St. Martin. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I would say if you're interested in doing things, going shopping, having nightlife, you like music or dancing, you want to go out and explore, the Dutch side is great for that. Sonesta, Ocean Point, where we stayed, is actually right in what they call Maho Village, which is not like giant. It's not like this huge town or anything, but you can totally walk out of the resort, and there's little shops, and there's restaurants, and there's bars, and music, and a grocery store. So like you can walk around and like explore stuff. Like,
nice. That's nice.
There's lots to do in the evening, entertainment wise and whatnot. And then the French side is much more quiet and sort of, I don't know, like French. Like, that's how I felt.
Yeah, very French. Okay.
I was like, I could see that this is the French side. It's just like more about the food and the French pastry shops. The French pastry shops. And the capital on the French side is I don't know if you're supposed to say Marigot or Marigot. But it's Marigot. So I kept saying Marigot, but then I feel like some of the people said Marigot. So I was
it's probably Marigot. That's what
I'm like, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm trying to sound all fancy saying Marigot, but then I'm like, no, it's not it. And Marigot has a lot of really good dining. So St. Martin is known for being like a foodie destination.
Ooh, okay. It's right up your alley.
I know, especially on the French side.
Yes.
And they speak French over there. So it's just very cool. So we stayed at Secrets, St. Martin on the French side. And it was, if you're looking for peaceful, quiet, romantic, just idyllic rest, that is where you go, to the Secret St. Martin.
It looks beautiful. The resort looks amazing.
It was gorgeous. So it's literally down, like you have to go up a mountain. Well, I'm from Vermont, so to me it was a hill, but like to them,
and
it's like kind of a little sketch, like it's like a narrow road, and you're like way up and down. The view from the top of the mountain is amazing. And then you go down into this little cove that literally has the Secrets Resort, and then this like little like marina village.
Ooh.
And there's a marina next to the resort, and then there's also boats docked like in front of the resort, fancy boats.
Ooh,
so very large like yachts and things like are like hanging out around there. It's very cool.
Nice.
The beach is amazing. It's just so quiet. It was like you could sit out there all day, and there were like people there, but it's like just so peaceful. and you can actually see the island of Anguilla right across this like bay. It's like right there. It's kind of cool. And there's a ferry boat you can take over to Anguilla too. That's not, I don't think it's very long, like 15 or 20-minute ferry.
Oh, that's not bad. Did you do that or no? You didn't do.
So we didn't because Anguilla is still has like quite a few COVID protocols going on.
Okay.
And they were requiring a test. You had to have a negative test result taken within like the last 48 hours in order to go over there, and you have to be fully vaccinated, which we were anyway. St. Martin, they don't require you to be fully vaccinated, but if you're not, you do have to test to go to St. Martin. But we are vaccinated, so we didn't have to test to go to St. Martin, and we just, we thought about going over to Anguilla, but we were not there for a super long time, and we figured out.
Yeah, because you were doing a split stay.
So. Yeah, and we were literally at Secrets for 2 nights, and that's it. Definitely want to go back there and stay longer though, because it was so beautiful.
It looked beautiful. It
was very restful. So the time we spent at Sonesta, as you know, I was there for like a travel agent like meeting.
Yes.
And which was very fun. I got to meet a lot of other travel agents, and but it was definitely more active. Like there was more.
Yeah, I'm sure it was more busy. It was busy there because you actually got to meet the president too of Vacation Express.
I got to meet the president of Vacation Express. That was so cool, and it's funny because so the name of it was the President's Club Retreat.
Yes. So we should say Colleen is a member of the President's Club with Vacation Express. So there's the agency, Miss Culinary Travel, is a member too, but there's individual opportunities for agents, and Colleen has worked very hard. So I'm going to toot your horn a little bit, and it is well deserved. So Colleen was there on a retreat for the President's Club. So congratulations to you. Yes.
And it was very cool. It was very cool to meet people. And, but I don't know why it didn't occur to me before I was there that the president would be there. Obviously it's his retreat. So, but like the first night they had like a cocktail hour, like reception, like meet and greet. I went up there and I met Anne, who is our business development manager for Vacation Express. And I have never met her in person before, so that was kind of nice. And like we were just standing there chatting, and the president, whose name is Renee, he like came over, and I didn't realize it was him at first, and she's like, "Oh, Renee, this is Colleen, and this is her first year in the President's Club." And he was like, "Oh, I know. And how are you doing?" And he started asking me all these questions, and it like literally wasn't until he walked away from me that I was like, "Oh my God, that was."
It made me good that you didn't know, so then that way you weren't nervous. You know what I mean?
I guess like it took me by surprise, so I didn't realize. But like as he walked away, I was like, "Oh my God, that was Renee, the president of Vacation Express." And I was just like, he was incredibly down to earth and friendly, and just obviously a very hands-on owner. Like he's very involved with like all of the parts. That's good. So it was really cool to meet him, and he spoke at like the conference we had and stuff. But so we were very busy the first 4 nights just because there was dinners to go to and things that were going on at the resort. But so we were happy to go to Secrets at the end and just relax.
I don't blame you for a couple of days. So let me ask you this. So I'm going to get into kind of the details, and we can talk about Secrets, but so do you think, before we get into that though, because I know this will be a question that we might get, do you think that St. Martin is good for families or better for couples?
I mean, there were absolutely families there, and the Sonesta actually has a family section. So the Sonesta Maho resort is the family friendly, and then Sonesta Ocean Point is adults only, but it's one resort,
Yeah, right.
And there were definitely families there. I think maybe if your children were older, And you wanted to drive around the island and explore things, go snorkeling. Snorkeling is a really big deal, or scuba diving is a really big deal around the island because there's a lot of that. But I think maybe not so much for young kids. Like there wasn't a whole lot that I could see like little kids. I mean, unless you just want to go and relax on a beautiful beach somewhere. I mean, then
right.
any age.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, absolutely. Any age. Yeah.
But it's not like there are a ton of activities to do, like when you go to Mexico. There's zip lining and there's scuba diving and there's snorkeling and there's beaches. But otherwise, there's not really a whole lot of like attractions or things.
Yeah, so it's probably more of like a island where you just want to get away and relax and chill.
Yes, exactly. Like if you're into history, or like I said, snorkeling and scuba diving, absolutely, it's a huge spot for that. But yeah, and then just beautiful beaches. You just want to go somewhere with the beautiful turquoise water.
I know.
That's what you're looking for. This is a good destination for that. Yeah, the water was beautiful.
Oh, amazing. Awesome. Well, let's kind of get into some details about some of the favorite things. So we touched on the beaches, and they are absolutely gorgeous. So let's talk about the food, since you brought up the food. It's a foodie island, you say, especially on the French side. So what would you say was your favorite meal during this trip?
Ooh.
I'm sure it's hard to pick a favorite, but
yeah. So
what did you enjoy the most in that way?
In that way. So I would say definitely the dinner we had on our very last night was my favorite meal. And we actually chose, so obviously Secrets is an all-inclusive resort. So they have restaurants and food at the resort, which we did eat at the resort, but St. Maarten is known as this foodie destination. So I did want to make sure we ate locally. And I guess that's a very common thing for people who go there. Like, even if you're staying at an all-inclusive resort, they still go off property to eat sometimes to experience the local cuisine. And in the little village that Secrets is located in, you can literally walk right out the lobby and across like a little parking lot, and there's this little shopping plaza, and there's a restaurant there, and it's an Italian restaurant. And we decided, and I had read ahead of time that this was a really good restaurant. So a lot of people said, oh, you want to go over there and eat dinner? It's really good. So we did. So the last night we were there, we went over and had dinner, and it was amazing.
Oh, nice.
We got this burrata appetizer. I don't know if you know what burrata is.
I was just going to explain what burrata is, because I don't know what it is, and I'm sure the audience may not know.
So burrata is like it's like a mozzarella cheese sort of. So it's like a fresh cheese.
Ooh, and that's my kind of dish.
Mostly resembles mozzarella, but so it comes down in like a kind of like a ball, and when you cut into it, the inside is soft, more like a ricotta. So it's a really good cheese. And it came on like asparagus and this lettuce and cracked pepper and olive oil. And they brought us this amazing French bread. Listen, I tell you, the pastry shops, you have to go to the pastry shops.
I'm sure.
They were so good. And so we got that as an appetizer. And then Matt actually got a pizza, because at this restaurant, they do a wood-fired like pizza.
Okay.
And that was amazing. And I got a lobster risotto.
Ooh.
And it was so good.
It sounds amazing. Oh my
goodness. Was so good. Yeah, it was a really fantastic restaurant, and it's all outdoor seating and with these pretty lights. People are so friendly, and then we were sitting there, and everybody's speaking French, and it was like, I'm like, if you didn't realize, if you didn't know you were on St. Maarten, like you could totally feel like you were in France. Like that's
very
how
nice.
It felt. Yeah. But
now, did you have any dessert with this meal, or did you go get a pastry? I was wondering. I'm like, oh, that's so much food, but yeah.
I know, but they did bring us at the end. I had to laugh because they asked us, if we wanted dessert, and we were both. We actually brought half of Matt's pizza back to the room with us because it was like we were so full.
Yeah.
But the waitress, she's like, "Well, can I at least interest you in some limoncello?" And I don't know if you've had limoncello. Is a lemon like liqueur, right? And so Matt and I have like a history with limoncello because our honeymoon, we went to Italy. And when we were in Italy, we had limoncello for the first time. We found this restaurant in this very tiny town in Tuscany that we were staying in. And they gave us limoncello and we fell in love with it. And then that year for Christmas, I actually made homemade limoncello.
Oh, nice.
And gave it to our family. And then it's become sort of like this tradition on our anniversary. Like a lot of times when we go out to dinner at a date night or our anniversary, we end up with limoncello. And it happens this way where like we don't even necessarily look for it or ask for it, but someone will offer it to us. And it's become like a thing with us.
Oh, well, it's meant to be. I always know limoncello, you call that. Now you'll laugh at me. I used to call it lemoncello, like lemon.
Well, I mean limoncello.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. So, but it is good. It's
so good. And so of course we had that. So we did have a little glasses of that, and that was perfect. I mean, it was like the perfect ending to the trip. It really was. But then later on, I will say I did go to Coco Cafe and I got this almond cookie. They had these almond cookies at the Coco Cafe at Secrets that were
yes,
so good.
Yeah, so if
it made me think of Coco Cafe. I have to tell you. So the Coco Cafe you have been to, it's at like
I was just gonna say, if people don't know, that is a signature cafe at the Dreams and Secrets,
and I don't know, do they have them at Now and Zoetry? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if they do,
but definitely Dreams and Secrets all have the Coco Cafe, and it's open usually 24 hours.
Yes,
and they have desserts and coffee and little sandwiches during the day. Well, I told you have to go to the French pastry shops, right?
Right.
I was very excited that the Coco Cafe had a very French pastry shop feel to it. It probably helped that the lady who worked there had a French accent and when you were ordering stuff. But they had like things that I feel like the other Coco Cafes I've been to, like in Mexico or Jamaica, like didn't have.
That's nice that it's different then.
Yeah, like French, like twists on things.
French inspired, yeah.
Yes, yeah, and it was all amazing as you can.
I'm sure it was. The Coco Cafe is amazing. So if you haven't been, I highly recommend that when you go to a Dreams or Secrets, definitely.
You have to go to Coco.
It's worth it. It's worth
my favorite.
Yeah, it is worth it. So did you do any activities? Like, I know you were busy the first half, but I'm just curious if you did anything special during your stay, like excursions, or other than going out and touring the town, was there anything unique or different that you did?
We didn't. I had thought about going to St. Bart's. And I really did want to do that because you didn't have to take a COVID test to go to St. Bart's. However, after we got there, and I was talking actually to Renee, the president of Pigeon Express, and I mentioned something about that, and he was saying, "Oh, well, just so you know, like if you get motion sick, which I do."
Yes.
Don't take the ferry. He was like, "Don't take the ferry. You should fly." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So then after that, I like kind of looked into it, and it's like a 45-minute ferry boat ride, and you're going out into the ocean, right? Like, so it's fairly rough because
and you're on a ferry too.
Yeah, St. Bart's is a little further away than Anguilla is, right? So you really do get out into the ocean water where it's rougher. And a lot of people said if you got motion sick at all, it was going to be like the worst ride of your life. And I had flashbacks to the ferry boat ride from Cozumel to Playa del Carmen a few years ago that I went on.
Yes. I probably would have taken a pass on that too, because I do tend to get, and it just makes your day miserable.
Yeah, and I'm just going for the day. Like, I don't want to, and I'll get there and I'll feel terrible, and then what? You know, I did for a minute I looked at flights, but it was just a lot to figure out last minute. So I said, you know what, it's fine. And then the other thing I thought about doing was the zip line. They have a zip line on St. Martin that's actually the steepest zip line, I think, in the world. I can't remember if it's in the world or just in the Caribbean, but like it's steep. And there was an excursion with the President's Club retreat, and I signed up for it, but I was on the wait list.
Okay.
I think I was a very popular one, and I apparently waited too long to get on the list. So I know that for next time.
Yes, for next time. Yes.
Next time I will know you have to jump on those things like immediately. So we didn't get on that, and we could have gone on our own and done it, but it was Matt was not as interested as I was. So I know he really wanted to just relax.
He was all about the relaxation.
I know. So we really did. Like the first full day I was busy with conference and site tours and whatever. And then the next full day we drove around the island. We rented a car. So we spent the whole day off property. So the third and our last full day at that resort, Matt really wanted to just lounge around and go swimming and enjoy the pool. The pool is beautiful at the Sonesta Ocean Point. It's really stunning. So I said, yeah, that sounds good. So that's what we did.
Well deserved.
I know. I'm like, that's all we wanted to do at that point. We were like, we're here to relax. And then when we got to Secrets, it was so quiet and peaceful there.
I was just gonna say, like the beach, probably because it's like in a cove, like you said. And I mean, I've seen photos of it and everything, and it just seems to me that there would be like nobody around. It would just, other than guests.
The people that are at the resort. And they were only, I remember somebody said, I don't know, only like 30% capacity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was not a lot of people there at all. Like you could walk around and not see another person. Like that's how quiet it was.
Oh, wow.
Which is great. I mean, I was down with that at that point. But the beach there is beautiful, and the water is calm, and it's the beautiful blue, and it was really, really beautifal resort. So
it looked gorgeous. I mean, it looked absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and we had a swim out room.
Oh, nice. You're in private pool.
Yeah, so which nice. I've never stayed in a swim out room before.
Did you like it?
I loved it. And it was a little different. Like some swim out rooms are literally like your patio, like walks into the pool, you know, like
right.
This one it was basically just, we had a pool like right in front of our patio. And we overlooked the marina. So that was fun. So we could, and it was so quiet. Like there was just nobody back there. So we hung out in our pool and watched all these fancy yachts come back and park, and
nice, very nice.
Did you we wondered how much they cost, you know, we were
yes.
How much did that cost?
Yes. Can I afford that one? No, probably not.
Which was fine with me. I was like down with that. Order some room service, hang out in the pool. That is my kind of vacation.
I know you love your room service. Did you go to the main pool at all? Like there?
Yes, yeah, we did. We went and checked out the main pool, and it was very nice. It's huge. They have a huge pool, and they have a barefoot grill by the pool that did lunch. And the pool is really close to the beach. Like it's literally just like 2 steps.
Yeah, within. Yeah.
Most people, I will say, were on the beach. At the beach was beautiful. Yeah. So there was a lot of people on the beach, but the pool was nice. Yeah.
Yep. I could
hung out on the beach because the pool didn't have a lot of shade. And I unfortunately did get sunburned. Our last full day at Sonesta. I know. I know better, like I thought I was good with my hat and sitting on the shade and whatever, but I was not. I should have reapplied. So I had a little bit of a sunburn and I didn't want to be like out in the sun. So
I can understand.
Under an umbrella.
That's how I like to do it too. Nice. Very nice. So do you have like any kind of last minute or pro tips about traveling to St. Martin or anything about the resort, either resort that you stayed at that you could share?
So as I mentioned in the beginning, I just definitely would think about what type of vacation you want. If you want to be able to have a lot of high energy nightlife and things to do in the evenings, then I would say the Dutch side and that Sonesta Ocean Point resort was perfect for that. The my one warning that I would tell you though is across the water from the Sonesta is a nightclub called Mykonos. If you like nightclubs and you want to go to a nightclub, it sounded pretty jammin'. However, on Fridays and Saturday nights, they have very, 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 very loud parties.
Okay.
And you can hear them in your
room. That's good to know. Okay.
So the one night they had actually a rave. They legit had a rave with DJs and it goes until 3:00 in the morning.
Oh boy.
And we had trouble sleeping that night. It comes through because you're facing that, you're facing.
Yeah, you're facing
the water. Yeah. And unfortunately, we actually looked into it. Matt went down and complained at the front desk, and they said, because he actually thought it was music from the resort at first, and then they were like, "No, it's that nightclub across the water," and it sounds like it's an ongoing issue with them.
Okay.
And they trying to get it to be there's really no noise ordinance, I guess.
Oh.
So that would honestly I would say there were some rooms specifically that I think you would hear it less that I would suggest you book that type. So if you're going to be there on a Friday or Saturday night, I would book certain room category because you want to not be facing across to that. If we were on we were on the 4th floor. I think if we'd been on a lower floor, it would have been better. We've been behind the trees and stuff. But, yeah. And then if you want a relaxing vacation, I would absolutely go to the French side. But I think it's worth seeing both sides of the island while you're there, whether you do a private tour. There were several companies that offered private tours and I actually think next time I would do that just because I'd like to have a local show me thing, say I don't know the best beach to go to or this or whatever, and they probably know that stuff. So I would almost say I'd rather do that next time. But
and you would probably see a lot more local, it would be a little more immersive into the local culture there, I think.
Exactly, right. Because when we rented our car and drove around, we had no idea where we were going or where to go. We just drove around and stopped at anything that looked interesting. But we probably missed stuff that we, wouldn't have otherwise. And local guides, there's lots of people who will offer that. And I think it's totally worth doing. It's the kind of island you want to get out and kind of explore and meet the locals. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. So thanks, Colleen, for sharing your trip to St. Martin. If you want to learn more, make sure you reach out to Colleen directly. Because she can share a lot more and some wonderful photographs and tours that she did of the rooms and things like that of her trip to St. Martin. So thank you, everyone, for listening today and or watching us on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to Magical Traveling Moms Podcast wherever you listen to them, and make sure you hit that notification button so you never miss an episode. So until next time, may all of your vacations be extra magical.